Hey guys, and welcome to an Aspie Reviews Music, otherwise known as I Sat Through It So You Don't Have to. So, to say that I didn't enjoy the movie would be the understatement of the year. To say that I could probably talk about the things I didn't enjoy about the movie longer than the movie's actual length would also not be an understatement, but I like to keep my videos short and sweet, so I'm gonna try my best to keep this short. The first thing that I want to just float by, and this is a plot point, not necessarily something that would realistically happen, but we're introduced to it right away. Who in their right mind leaves an autistic child in the care of someone who can't even care for themselves? Zoo makes this point towards the end of the movie. She says, I can't take care of myself. How am I supposed to take care of this kid? No one should have left her to Zoo in the first place. There should have been another plan, and there wasn't. And that just absolutely killed me, because you have these people, all these people who love music, this child, this wonderful child who has autism, and all these people care about her and love her so much, and you're gonna put her in the responsibility of the one person who seemingly at the beginning and the middle of the movie couldn't care less about her, and only started to care about her a significant portion of the way into the movie. And even towards the end, she didn't seem to care about her, and it was very off and on, and it's something that really bothered me. The second thing that bothered me is this movie was supposed to be a love letter to the autistic community. That's what it was described as. We'll get to all the problems with it, but the first problem was it was so overstimulating it hurts. There were strobe lights, there were bright neon colored costumes, there was so much spinning and moving around and camera movement. It was just overwhelming. And then you had people talking over other people. You had all these things happening all at once. It was completely not made for an autistic person to watch. And that absolutely killed me, because if you really want to listen to her and give her the benefit of the doubt when she says, oh, it was a love letter to the autistic community, maybe she should have made it something that an autistic person could watch without wanting to rip their eyeballs out. Again, just a thought. One thing that really, really bothered me, and everyone's going to say, well, it doesn't bother you when you review The Good Doctor, or it doesn't bother you when you review other movies. What really bothered me was Maddie's portrayal of music, and it was not her fault in any way, shape, or form. She was a child. She should not have been put in the position to take on this role, because she did not know anything but listen to the director. But watching her portray this character was insulting. It was every stereotype that you could imagine about a severely autistic person, all bundled up into one person. And for, I would say, at least half the movie, the look on Maddie's face was, and that is not, I have worked with children who are severely autistic. It is not a common thing, but you know what it is? It's a common stereotype. Now, there were certain things, walking on your tiptoes, that is something that a lot of autistic people do. That's something that I would agree with. Yes, that's something that should have been in there. And again, I know this isn't a documentary. We're not trying to be 100% accurate here, but the things that you saw, the facial expressions, the way that she would stim, the way that she would have a meltdown, it was all so stereotypical. And don't get me started on the fact that they called them seizures and episodes, but never once referred to them as a meltdown. In fact, Zoo threw a full-blown temper tantrum, which nobody seemed to refer back to at all during the entire movie. But sure, let's talk about music's episodes, because those were the real problem. I also want to talk about the use of restraint. I know that it has been said that Sia apologized for the use of restraint in the movie and that the scenes were going to be removed. In the version that I saw, the scenes were in there, and it was something that very much upset me. That is how autistic people are being killed, is by people who are restraining them in the wrong way. If there's a child who responds well to deep pressure when they're having a meltdown, there are ways of doing that. There are weighted blankets. You could get a service dog that is trained to do deep pressure therapy. There are a lot of things that you can do, but lying on top of the person and crushing them and saying, "Oh, I'm crushing her with my love." No, you're hurting her, or you're possibly hurting her, or you're showing someone else how to possibly hurt her. It's not right, and it's not how people should be treated during a meltdown. It's just not. The one thing I would say that would be okay if the person likes hugs is to hug them and keep them calm. The biggest thing for me when I'm having a meltdown is my fiance's heartbeat. So he will grab my head and pull it close to his chest and let me listen to his heartbeat, and that calms me down. It's not throwing himself on top of me and making it so that I have to hear his heartbeat. It's gently pulling my head in and allowing me to get that particular stimulus, that particular sound, which makes me calm and makes me go back to my normal way of breathing and makes me able to finish up a conversation and have a conversation about whatever was making me melt down, as opposed to simply melting down. The scenes with restraint should never have been in that episode. In this movie, excuse me. They should never even have been written into a possible script, and it bothers me that they were in the film. Something else that bothered me was there were no full-blown storylines. We did not get a full circle storyline for a single character in the entire movie. And I know this has nothing to do with autism in general, but for me, I like to know the plot of the movie. I like to know that there was growth of character for every character in the movie, that every character got a proper ending, that every character had a story arc. And unfortunately, there were a bunch of story arcs that started and never ended. And so for me, that was bothersome. Um, Again, I cannot express how much I disliked the stereotypes in this movie. And it's not just the stereotypes with music, it's the stereotypes with Zoo, it's the stereotypes that were just rife throughout the entire movie. And it absolutely just hurt me watching this movie. It hurt my heart. It hurt me in the sensory sense, and it hurt me in my brain because I knew that this movie, written by a different writer and directed by a different director and cast by different cast members, would probably have been a very good movie. But it wasn't, and it was because there were so many problems. And everyone keeps saying that these petitions to have the movie stripped of its nominations for awards, and people saying that Maddie shouldn't have been cast in the role because she's not autistic, is a bunch of autistic people being snowflakes. And it's not. I don't dislike the movie because Maddie got the role. I dislike the movie because how Maddie was forced to act once she had the role. The entire movie, I felt sorry for the child that had to play that character with all of the things that she was told to do, because it's actually been reported that on day one of filming, she was found crying because she thought people would be upset with her for making fun of people with autism. A 14-year-old child at the time of this filming knew what the adults making this movie didn't know. And that to me says it all. So I probably won't make another video about this, even though I feel like I could make 10, because I don't want to keep rehashing it over and over and over again. You can watch it if you choose to. I would suggest maybe don't, because it really upset me, but it might not upset somebody else. You may have a different viewpoint of it. And if you do have a different viewpoint, please drop it in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think if you saw it. Let me know what you think about all of the controversy surrounding the movie. And until next time, this has been an Aspie's point of view. Bye, guys.